Ever taken a look at a fridge that looks perfect in the picture, only to find it takes up half the kitchen, barely fits the door, and leaves you juggling groceries on the countertop? That's the nightmare that trips up a lot of buyers, especially when the specs on the page read spacious and high-tech, but the real-world experience feels cramped or under-delivered. If you're on the fence about a big-ticket appliance, you probably want to avoid that disappointment. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's walk through why the LG 36-inch smart French door refrigerator might be the answer or why it could be the wrong move for you. First off, the thing that makes this unit stand out in the market is its 28 cuft capacity, tucked behind a 36-inch wide French door FOD. In plain English, that's enough room to stash a full weekend's grocery haul, a couple of party platters, and still have space for those bulk-buy frozen meals you keep for busy weeks. I've spoken with a few friends who do weekly bulk shopping at wholesale clubs. They told me they end up stacking milk cartons on top of each other in smaller fridges just to make it fit. With LG's multi-air flow cooling system, the cold air circulates through multiple vents, which means you don't end up with a freezer that's frosty on one side and warm on the other. In practice, that translates to everything from a bowl of fresh berries staying firm on the shelf to a pint of ice cream staying scoop-ready for longer. Now, the smart part. This model is Wi-Fi enabled and runs LG's ThinQ platform. What does that actually do for you in day-to-day life? If you're the type who likes to get a push notification when the door has been left open, or you want to run a quick diagnostic from your phone before calling a repair tech, ThinQ has you covered. It also lets you check the interior temperature from your phone, so you can be sure your produce is staying at the right chill without stepping into the kitchen. For a household that already relies on smart plugs and voice assistants, that integration feels natural rather than gimmicky. The only caveat is that you'll need a stable home Wi-Fi network. If your router is already fighting for bandwidth, you might see a few hiccups in the app's responsiveness. The external ice sandwater dispenser is another practical feature that often gets glossed over in marketing copy. It's positioned on the door, so you don't have to open the whole fridge just to pour a glass of water or fill a pitcher for a family gathering. The slim SpacePlus ice system is designed to fit in a thinner footprint than traditional ice makers, which helps keep the overall depth of the unit reasonable. However, the depth measurement with the door open hits 48.63 inches. In a kitchen where the cabinets are shallow or the walkways are tight, that extra half foot can be a real obstacle. You'll want to measure the space with the door fully open before you commit. Let's talk about who really benefits from this fridge. If you have a family of 4 or more, do meal prep on the weekends, or entertain regularly, the extra cubic footage and the separate freezer compartment become obvious assets. Imagine loading a large casserole, a bag of frozen vegetables, a few trays of marinated chicken, and still having room for a couple of gallon-sized juice cartons. The French door layout lets you keep those items at eye level while you grab a quick snack from the fridge side, and the freezer side stays low enough to slide a pizza box in without a struggle. For tech-savvy households, the ThinQ connectivity adds a layer of convenience. Getting an alert if the door stays ajar while the kids are at school can prevent a costly energy waste. On the flip side, this isn't the best pick for a single professional living in a studio apartment. The sheer volume of space can feel wasteful, and the external dispenser needs a waterline hookup that might not be feasible in a rental without permission. If you don't regularly use ice or prefer bottled water, you'll be paying for a feature you never touch. The same goes for anyone who's not interested in managing appliances via an app. You'll still get a solid refrigerator, but you'll miss out on the smart benefits that justify part of the price premium. Speaking of price, while I can't quote a discount that isn't listed, the model sits in a higher-end bracket compared with standard 28 cuft fridges. If you're hunting for the lowest possible cost, you might find a less flashy brand that still delivers the capacity you need. A practical weakness that often shows up in user experiences with large French door units is the amount of floor space required for the ice sandwater dispenser. Because it's mounted on the door, the freezer door swings outward, and the dispenser's water line has to be routed from the back of the unit. In homes where the back wall is tiled or there's limited clearance behind appliances, installation